What up, world? EstablishedRich coming right back at you. Tia Keith was 44 years old. She owned her own hair salon, and on the night of July 16th, she did something most of us do without thinking twice. She stopped at a convenience store. What happened when she walked out of that store would lead to a week-long manhunt across Georgia.
A news alert in Hall County. We're getting a look at the surveillance video of a shooting in a convenience store. Investigators say a woman was shot and killed last night by her former live-in boyfriend. Fox 5's Denise Dillon is live in Hall County tonight. Denise, investigators have just given you more details about what happened there.
Yeah, that's right. Investigators tell me that a woman had stopped at the store to buy something, and when she came out, her former boyfriend was in the passenger seat of her car and shot her multiple times. She managed to get out of the car and run back into the store.
Surveillance video from the convenience store on Mountain View Road in Hall County shows a woman running into the store. A second later, a man with a gun bursts in and starts shooting. The owner of the store says the woman was initially shot in the parking lot.
I think already shot one outside, then she running on the store, and he's following on the back.
He was shooting all the way.
Exactly.
Hall County Sheriff's investigators say Tia Keith's former boyfriend initially shot her after jumping into the passenger seat of her car that was parked outside the store. Tia ran into the store to escape, but the man went after her, shooting her multiple times. Investigators say he then left in her car. They have not released his name, but family members say Tia had a boyfriend who she was trying to break up with.
Police say Tia walked back to her car. Her former live-in boyfriend, Antoine Stinwell, was sitting in the passenger seat. For whatever reason, he was sitting there waiting. Investigators say what happened next turned that parking lot into a crime scene. Authorities say Tia was shot multiple times while she was still inside the vehicle. But somehow she managed to get out. Think about that for a second. You've already been hit, you're hurt, and your only thought is trying to survive. She runs back inside the store, and police say Thurman followed her in and continued shooting, while a store employee was ducking behind the counter calling 911. Tia died right there on the floor. And before police can get there, the man they say did it has already disappeared. And that is where this story changes completely. Because now you don't just have a woman dead, you have a man accused of killing his former girlfriend inside a public store, and nobody knows where he is. But before we even get to the manhunt, I don't want Tia just to become a victim in this story. She had a life before any of us even knew her name.
I want to tell women out there who are in relationships and they're not healthy to get away.
Charlotte Sosby is Tia Keith's cousin.
I have so many memories of her.
Sosby says Tia had her own hair salon in Gainesville. She hopes all her customers, friends, and those that never got the chance to meet her remember the bright, kind person Tia was.
Remember her heart, the kind of person that she was, her sense of humor, that she was a sweet person.
Investigators say at this time the shooter is not in custody. Family members hope he is caught soon. Reporting live in Hall County, Denise Dillon, Fox 5 News.
Tia's family described her as sweet, funny, and a woman who grinded to own her own hair salon. Her father called her the light of his life, and her cousins say she has always made the family proud. And then her cousin said something that makes this whole story even harder to hear. She said Tia had been trying to get out of an unhealthy relationship. So when you hear her family telling other women to get away when something don't feel right, that message is coming from a family who just found out how badly this can end. Now at this point, her family is grieving and law enforcement has another problem. Thurman is still out there. And the more information police start releasing about him, the more this story sounded like something out of a true crime series.
We got some breaking news to talk about. The Hall County Sheriff's Office says a man is on the run accused of killing his former girlfriend outside of a Oakwood convenience store. We had this as breaking news on 11 Alive News Friday at 11. Investigators said that they've tracked his movements for days, but now they're asking for your help, the public's help. Hall County Sheriff investigators are now searching for 45-year-old Antoine Thurman, wanted on murder and aggravated assault charges in the July 16th shooting death of 44-year-old Tia Keith at a food mart on Mountain View Road. Deputies have recovered a vehicle tied to the case and the search in Metro Atlanta, a home there as well. He has a prosthetic lower left leg, walks with a slight limp, and is considered armed and very dangerous. So anyone who sees him should call 911 immediately.
Police now put a name in the face to the man they looking for. Antwain Stillwell Thurman, 45 years old, about 5'9" and 212 pounds. But then they started listing the things that should make him easier to spot. A prosthetic lower left leg, a slight limp, and a large neck tattoo that reads Romans 12:19. And that tattoo is one of those details that sticks with you. Romans 12:19 is the scripture about vengeance belonging to God.
Do not take revenge, my friends, but leave room for God's wrath, for it is written, "It is mine to avenge, I will repay," says the Lord.
The same verse is sitting on the neck of a man police are hunting for in the killing of his former girlfriend. Authorities are telling people he should be considered armed and extremely dangerous. So this ain't no, hey, I think I saw him at a gas station. Let me walk over there and see if that's him. This situation is if you see him, call the police immediately. And while his picture is starting to circulate, investigators are not just sitting around hoping somebody recognizes him. They are following his trail.
Hall County investigators need your help finding this man accused of shooting his ex-girlfriend inside a convenience store. Investigators say the shooting was caught on the store's surveillance camera. Antwain Thurman is now wanted on charges of malice murder, felony murder, and aggravated assault in connection with the death of Tia Keith. Now, so far, investigators have recovered the car that Thurman was believed to be driving and searched the Metro Atlanta home, but he is still on the run at this hour. Investigators say Thurman has multiple tattoos, including one on his neck reading Romans 12:19. He also has a prosthetic lower left leg and walks with a slight limp. Thurman is considered to be armed and dangerous. If you see him, do not approach him. Call 911. And if you or anyone you know is experiencing domestic violence, there is help. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is available. It's available 24/7. That number on your screen right there, 1-800-799-SAFE, or you can text START to 88788. Advocates are waiting to help.
Police recovered the vehicle they believe Thurman used after he left the scene. Then investigators executed a search warrant at a Metro Atlanta home. But when they got there, the person they really wanted was already gone. Investigators said they believed he was on the run trying to avoid capture. And by then, they didn't even know what vehicle he might be using. So now the search gets a little more complicated. You have his face, you have a description, you have a vehicle that has already been abandoned, and you know he has been through Metro Atlanta, but you still don't have him. And every day that goes by makes the question bigger. How far did he get? Is he still somewhere around Atlanta? Did he head south? Did he leave Georgia completely? Meanwhile, the people who love Tia are watching all of this play out on the news, while the person accused of taking her life is still out there somewhere.
Right now at 7:02, we are entering day 5 in the search for a man accused of killing his ex-girlfriend inside a Hall County convenience store. The suspect remains out of sight this morning and on the run. Our EstablishedRich following the newest developments this morning from the Hall County Sheriff's Office. So, Steph, what do you know at this hour?
Yeah, good morning, Jonathan. So we do know investigators, they want everyone to be on the lookout for Antwain Thurman. They say that he shot and killed his ex-girlfriend last Thursday. Take a look at your screen. Get a look. Thurman is described as 5'9", around 212 pounds with black hair and brown eyes. Police say that he has multiple tattoos, including Romans 12:19 tattooed across his neck. Hall County Sheriff's Office releasing additional images of Thurman inside the convenience store Mountain View Road on July 16th. They say he does have a prosthetic lower left leg and that he walks with a limp. According to deputies, 44-year-old Tia Keith had just returned to her car outside the store when Thurman, who investigators say was waiting inside her vehicle, allegedly opened fire. Investigators say Keith then ran into the store, but that Thurman followed her inside and shot her again before leaving. She did not survive. Now, investigators investigators found the vehicle that Thurman fled the scene in, but say they're not sure what vehicle he may be traveling in at this time. They do say, though, if you do see him, if you recognize him, don't approach him. Instead, call 911 immediately. Live here in Hall County, I'm Safina Chainoff. Jonathan, back to you.
Now the search is getting bigger. The Hall County Sheriff's Office gets help from the FBI, the GBI, and other law enforcement agencies. So this has gone far beyond a couple local detectives looking for a suspect. This is the part of the manhunt where time starts working both ways. Every hour Thurman stays free gives him more time to move, but it also gives investigators more time to pull records, follow leads, talk to people, and start closing the circle around him. He has a very recognizable face, a very recognizable tattoo, a prosthetic leg, so this ain't somebody who can just walk around blending into the crowd forever. Eventually, somebody is going to see something, some camera is going to catch something, or some piece of information is going to put the police in the right position. And exactly 1 week after Tia was killed, that place turned out to be Augusta, Georgia.
Tonight, one of Metro Atlanta's most wanted is finally locked up after being on the run for a week. Antoine Thurman was wanted for murder out of Hall County, accused of killing his ex-girlfriend. And this afternoon, local and federal authorities tracked him down to a motel 140 miles away in Augusta, where he's now awaiting extradition back to Hall County. 11 Alive's Cody Alcorn has been following this manhunt from the very beginning. He's live in our newsroom. So, Cody, you actually have some new video showing Thurman being walked out in handcuffs.
Yes, and you can imagine it was a phone call Tia Keith's father has been waiting for. It's been 7 long days, but this afternoon he got the news. The man accused of taking his daughter's life was finally captured. Now, this is Tia Keith, is a well-known and very talented braider and loctician across the metro. Her family says Tia was someone who brought joy to about every situation and was hardly ever seen without a smile. And this is the moment the man accused of stealing that joy from her family and friends was captured this afternoon in Augusta. The FBI, GBI, and Richmond County Sheriff's Office tracked Antoine Thurman to this Motel 6 on Wrightsboro Road. He was alone when the SWAT team busted down his door and put him in cuffs. Now, this comes exactly 1 week tonight after he's accused of following Tia to a convenience store here on Mountain View Road, just outside Oakwood, where investigators say he got inside her SUV while she ran into the store. When Tia walked out and got into her vehicle, the sheriff's office says Thurman started shooting her. Now, Tia managed to fight back. She escaped that SUV, ran inside, but Thurman chased after her, and the sheriff's office says he continued shooting her inside the store. Tia died on scene and Thurman took off. Again, his run of freedom ended tonight. In the coming days, he'll be brought back to Hall County, where he'll officially be charged with malice murder, which in Georgia makes him eligible for the death penalty if the DA decides to consider it.
After a week of searching across different parts of Georgia, authorities tracked Thurman to a Motel 6 on Wrightsboro Road in Augusta, nearly 140 miles away from where Tia was killed. And after all those warnings that he was armed and dangerous, after all the searching and all the moving around, police say they found him alone in a motel room and took him into custody without incident. That part always gets me with these stories. A whole family's life has been destroyed. Multiple agencies have spent weeks looking for your ass. Your face is all over the news. And when police finally show up at your door, everything is calm. Thurman is now being held without bond on charges including malice murder, felony murder, and aggravated assault under Georgia's Family Violence Act. Those are the charges. The case still has to go through court, but the week-long manhunt is over. And that is really where this story comes full circle. Tia Keith started that night making a regular stop at the convenience store. And 7 days later, police are 140 miles away putting handcuffs on the man they say killed her. But for her family, there is no real happy ending in that. An arrest can give you some relief, and it can give you a chance at justice. But it doesn't put Tia back in her salon, and it doesn't put her back at the dinner table with her family. And that is why I have to end this where her cousin ended it. Because I don't want to turn this whole video into a PSA. But I also don't want somebody watching this to miss the warnings inside Tia's story. If you are with somebody who threatens you, controls you, scares you, or has you feeling like you have to walk on eggshells around them, don't wait until something terrible happens before you take it seriously. And especially if you are trying to leave somebody who has already shown you that they can be dangerous. Get other people involved and make a plan before you make that move alone. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is open 24 hours a day. You can call 1-800-799-SAFE. 1-800-799-SAFE. or text START to 88788. And I don't care if you think you might be overreacting. I would rather see somebody overreact and be here tomorrow than ignore that feeling in their stomach and have their family telling a story just like Tia's. Rest in peace to Tia Keith, and hopefully somebody watching hears the part of the story that her family wants them to hear. But hey, that's just my opinion. What's yours? Like, comment, subscribe, Established Rich. I'll be back with another one. Peace.